Good day. So, wanted to talk about a business topic. Plain and simple. A lot of people don't need business partners. A lot of people want business partners. Anytime I'm approached, I was just approached recently about possible, a partnership or something like that. Somebody wanting me to join their company and work with them on something. But anytime I'm approached with that, I say, hey, listen, tell me what your issues are. Let's go through them. And then, hey, man, I don't think you need a business partner. I think you want a business partner because you think it's going to do something for you and maybe even propel you to another level, which may be true. But I don't think you actually need a business partner. And I go through it with them, and I test them because it's like, I don't want you to expect certain things from me as a business partner, and I cannot deliver realistically, or I do not live up to what you envisioned, right? Because that's sometimes the biggest issue is that you become, I think the best word is you disillusioned, or the dissolution of a partnership is due to because a person feels that the partner is not doing enough or not providing enough value or continuing to provide enough value. It's just, I'm here, maybe here's $5 and then I expect to get regular, returns without doing any work, right? And, that happens. That happens quite often, sadly. Because some people aren't really business partners. They're sole proprietors. They're people that shouldn't have business partners. They should have employees at the most. But all right, so talking with a friend, he runs a cabling business and I'm extremely proud of him and what he's done. I've talked about him in a past video where I was getting just appreciation from him, appreciation from my nephew, kind of like all at once, just a couple of months ago. And I was like, wow, it's kind of crazy. So he actually came to me again and said, hey, listen, and I kind of understood what he was talking about, a couple words into the talk or the conversation. But, I really kind of just say, listen, I don't really think you need a business partner for this type of stuff. I understand that you want one, but more importantly, you need procedures in place. You need a foundation and infrastructure in place. At most, you might need a business counselor or a business advisor or something like that, but I don't think you need a business partner. And I've reached out to him even today, just checking in and say, hey, listen, man, checking in on what we talked about. I don't really think you need a business partner, but these are my thoughts, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, man, I really appreciate that. Because I was like, a lot of the stuff you're talking about, you can get through, like almost like when you go like, oh, I need legal advice, I need a lawyer and all this other stuff. No, you need LegalZoom. Like, you don't really need a lawyer. You need a Quora or something like that. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Quora, that website where you can ask questions and people can respond. And it's just like, yeah, you need a post on a blog. Like, I don't think you need all of that. Now, all the stuff that you're talking about would be nice. I wouldn't mind actually joining you and actually making some money off of it, if at all possible. But at the end of the day, I want you to be fair to yourself, fair to what you do and with the equity that you actually, the sweat equity and the work and everything that you put into it. And not devaluing yourself, your expertise, your knowledge, your work ethic, blah, 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 like not devaluing any of that stuff. And get to a point where I was just like, I got to a point in conversation. I was like, well, listen, bro, I'll help you. I don't think I said it like this, but usually what I say is like, hey, listen, I'll take your money. I will. Like, I'll take some extra money, no problem. And I'll do some work to get that money. But, you don't really need all that. You can actually cut down your expenses by investing some money that instead of pocketing it for, materials or materialistic things, so to speak, things that you don't really need, you can actually pocket it and put it into the business itself. And it's going to take you a little bit longer to see, quote unquote, the polished diamond. But, listen, keep rocking with that lump of coal. You can still burn it in the winter, baby. So there's still some value in it, but it's going to take a while before that stone turns to diamonds. So when I hear someone ask about that, I'm like, okay, well, hey, I think you need to do this. Have you done this? Have you tried this? What do you think about this? Hey, man, let's look at this. And I'll be like, hey, listen, I'll help you. We can sit there, brainstorm, go through it. You don't really need a business partner though, you know? You need maybe just an advisor. You need employees. You need a procedure, a policy. You need some type of standard operating procedure. Hey, you know, this is how these things should be hung, and this is what they need to do, so on and so forth, right? Because especially if you're like running data cabling or telecommunications cabling, fiber, and all this other stuff, there are ways to dress the cables. There are limits, and there are things that are expected that you're going to have to do to make sure that you everything's up to code and everything is ran, quote unquote, properly or as expected. So then when other people come in to connect data or to connect equipment, they can easily do it or do it in a manner that is, you know, following a procedure of some sort. And sometimes what happens is people are pushed into these things because there's an outside entity or force, which I don't know about, and he kind of alluded to, that is pushing him to get more contracts, to get more work. And I'm like, bro, that's a fucking awesome issue to have, man. Like, bro, that's great. You know, somebody really is believing in him and pushing him to, quote unquote, put his business or get his business to the next level. And I'm like, whoa, that's fucking cool. I want to be a part of that, but I want you to understand what it means for me to be a part of that. Like, what does that really mean for you? You know, so I think that is because a lot of people, it's like, you know, you think about this stuff, but it really doesn't hit you until you have to give this person a piece of the proceeds, and you don't feel that they were worth all of that. They weren't. Say for instance, out of $100, you have to give them 50. You have to give them 55, or no, out of $100, right? And then you say take away $30 for materials, because you know it's like 1099's contract work. Like, it is what it is, right? Or it is. It's not always 50-50, right? But we'll say $70 out of that 100 is actual profit. Now you've bust your ass, hung cable and did all this stuff, and this person hasn't done nearly as much. Maybe they've done a couple things on the phone. Maybe they've done one or two things in terms of in a meeting. But in the end, at the end of the day, you're still the one that's doing maybe most of the sales, talking, and all this other stuff. You know, a good amount of it. You can see the inequality there, right? The imbalance. So it's like, okay, but you're still expected to split 50-50 because that's what you agreed to. You know, and you can always just say, hey, listen, man, you know, I'm going to need you to come up out. I can't give you this if you're not doing this. And you have talks with that person. You go through it and what you expect. But that stuff should be defined ahead of time. You know, that should be understood ahead of time. There should be an understanding of what this person is going to provide, what this person is going to do, and what they're not going to do, and what they're also going to be able to do as well. So it's things like that. I think as business owners, we don't think about this stuff. We don't think about this stuff on our first business. Second and third, yeah, like, and even with my business partners, you know, I always love my business partners to this day, and everything that we worked for. I always felt that they did earn their piece of the pie. They always did certain things to put themselves in the right position to help me and put me in the right position to bring in that money, you know, and do things like that. My business partners, you know, some of them come back to me like, yo, listen, man, I'm thinking about doing this. I always come with a new idea, and I'll be like, oh, you know, I don't want to, you know, because I'm going to do this over here. Oh, man. You know, so they, and I appreciate that, man, because that's not just love, man. That's respect. That's respect. And I respect that they have that feeling towards me and their thought process towards me and everything else like that. So that's always cool. But when I approach a business partnership in good faith, with their thoughts in mind, their well-being and progress and elevation in mind, you start to see where that comes back to you in so many different ways. All right. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I think that was something that was interesting. And I think that's something that's very important that, you know, people I don't think people really see. I don't think, okay, say for instance, you're a small proprietor, a small business, sole proprietorship, and you just think, oh man, you know, this guy's great. He does this and he's done this before. Like, look at his nice car. You know, he has this. He always has this, blah, blah, blah. You know, when I talk to him, it's just blah, blah, you know, and then we have our own fantasies, our own delusions, so to speak, of what this person can actually bring to the table. And in actuality, they don't really bring much of anything in actual when applied or when put to practice or put to work, you know. And that's a part of the problem. Being realistic about a business partnership and what this person might offer, and things like that. So I think that's very important, and I think that's something that we as business owners often overlook. I know I overlooked it on, like, say, my first one, but when I say I overlooked it, I didn't really have to worry about it because that person, to this day, I consider my brother, you know. And then even a business partner we brought on later on, even him, you know, he worked. Like, hey, listen, when you called him, he was there. So those were great gets, so to speak, in terms of business partnerships. But yeah. And, you know, I'm thinking about, like, how I failed them in some ways, too. So that's something I got to deal with right here now. But, you know, yeah, how I failed them in some ways, and being honest with that as well. And taking that not negatively into the next business relationship, but taking that into the next business relationship so that, you know, there can be improvements made, you know, so things like that. Alrighty, so with that being said, and I think I'm gonna cry. With that being said, you know, wish you guys all the best. Peace, love you all. I hope you guys like the new desk. You know, the thing is pretty badass. I love it so far. It's really big in terms of look and everything else like that. I think I'll make the thumbnail a picture of this desk. Yeah, we'll see. All right, with that being said, peace, love you guys.